Guild Wars 2 PvP is fast and fun and offers a ton of great rewards, but there is a fairly steep learning curve with lots of moving parts. So I'm going to give you the most important topics that you can improve on that will win you more games. First one out of the gate is fairly obvious, but knowing your profession's strengths and weaknesses. Just because you can do a lot of damage and get big numbers does not mean that you are good in every single situation. For example, my Hammer Catalyst build is exceptionally strong in most 1v1s, but can struggle against certain matchups like a Stunbreaker or any type of Condi Ranger. Knowing the absolute capabilities of your profession takes time and a lot of failing, but once you have learned it, you can easily make better judgment calls on engagements and team fights. This doesn't mean that you can't play other roles than the one that you know your profession is best at. Like yes, the Catalyst is great at dueling, but they can also roam and offset fights, or overpower other duels to give your team an edge. The point being here is knowing how to maximize your profession's capabilities, which also rolls into don't waste time. Seriously, do not waste time in PvP matches. Constantly ask yourself, is there a better place for me to be than where I am right now? I mean that in the sense that you just won a 1v1, you've capped the node, and you are waiting to prevent a decap, and you wait some more. Stop it! You cap the node, your Daredevil went to contest the far node, help your team in mid, or go help the Daredevil at far, or prepare for the map special event. Just don't stand around. I see a lot of players not disengage until all enemies around the node are dead, and then they don't move on to the next objective. They just stand there. There's far little more you can do here by finishing down enemies. Start moving to far node, or go and recap home. Yes, you may have a little bit of downtime, but constantly ask, where can I make the biggest impact? Real quick though, what is your biggest tip for new PvP players in Guild Wars 2? I want to hear these. Comment down below. My next improvement piggybacks off of the previous one, and that is knowing when to disengage. Say you're in a team fight, and it is going south very fast. You are not directly engaged with anyone and can escape, so do it. Just because you are able to keep fighting enemies doesn't mean that you have to die. Actually, dying here is incredibly bad in most cases because one, you have to wait for someone to finish you or for you to bleed out. Then two, you have to wait for another 15 to 30 seconds to respawn and re-engage in the fight. If you watch hockey, think of this like a power play. The enemy team now has a numbers advantage because you watch too much Avatar: The Last Airbender and try to 1v4 them. Learning the ability to disengage and live is probably one of the most powerful aspects of winning more games because you can create pressure elsewhere on the map, or better yet, not feed the enemy team. The next improvement is fairly simple. Call your targets. In every match, you have 4 other team members who have no idea what you are planning, or really what you're doing, aside from what you are typing, telling them what you plan to do. Since you aren't using voice commands, mark your targets. Say you are a teamfight DPSer. You see an enemy Tempest that has no heal left and just used their stun break. That is who you are going to focus. Let your teammates know in real time by pressing Control left click to mark the target to inform everyone what your intention is. This keybind can be changed to whatever you need it to, but instantly alerting your team of who you are focusing will greatly improve your team's coordination and kill capabilities. Speaking of that, what is your favorite profession that you focus hardcore in PvP? I don't know why, but for me, it's necromancers. I just make a beeline to them. I can't explain it. I don't know why. Probably one of the easiest improvements that you can have is knowing how and when to use your crowd control to secure kills. Most players have 1 to 2 stun breaks, which remove all crowd control on them. Once used, there is a window for more follow-up crowd control that they cannot escape in. The previous example of seeing a Tempest use their stun break, any follow-up CC that connects means that they'll have to eat it. They're sit and duck. Boom, easy kill. This also means watching closely to your enemies when they have stability. Stability blocks any incoming crowd control while consuming that particular buff, meaning if they have stability, they ain't getting knocked down. Stability usually doesn't last that long, so holding your stun for an extra few seconds will definitely help you land more CCs and get more kills. The next improvement you can make is knowing when to prioritize a full capture versus a decap. Decapping a node takes about 5 seconds, while a full capture takes 10. Sometimes your best bet is to decap a node, then engage a contested node somewhere else with your team. Or realizing that your team is winning the fight at mid or home, and then fully capping that particular node that you're on. There is an infinite amount of situations that occur within a PvP match, and understanding that stalling your team from getting points off of a node is sometimes better than attempting to get the points for your team. This becomes even more important when we talk about map objectives. These can literally make or break a win on any given game, so reading that there is about to be an additional objective can change your decision from a full cap to settling for a decap. Or realizing that your team is already in position for the objective, and then capping the far node to gain points while your team contests the new objective. Pay attention and make the best judgments that you can. If you can stall, great. If you can cap and hold, even better. The last point I will make is absolutely the most important improvement that you can make in Guild Wars 2 PvP, which is of course watching the goddamn minimap. Literally, just watch the minimap. It will literally tell you everything you need to know about engaging enemies, their movement, positioning, and how well the fight is going elsewhere. I mean, come on. When your teammate spots an enemy player, that player's profession pops up on your map and tells you everything you need to know to make your next informed decision. It also lets you know, hey, my ally is about to go and recap our home node. I'm better off staying here at mid or going with another ally to contest the far node. It'll help you make a better decision when you see that your team lost mid and the enemies are rotating towards you while you're fighting with another enemy. That means it's time to get the hell out of there. Seriously, watch the minimap and you'll easily win more matches by better decision making. So yeah, there you go. I put a lot of time and energy into Guild Wars 2 PvP, and here are my thoughts after playing a straight year of the game mode. Stay caffeinated, folks.